Somewhere on the edge of a Jurassic forest, a mother dinosaur is laying her eggs.
The classic modern interpretation of life in the Mesozoic, as depicted in the BBC's award-winning series, Walking with Dinosaurs.
She is a 25-ton diplodocus.
Relying heavily on the latest scientific evidence, as well as the most advanced computer animatronics, the series was as much natural history as it was prime-time entertainment.
Let me just call up this clip from one of the BBC dinosaur documentaries. Look at them, how they're walking.
But for all its diligent research and authoritative voiceover, Professor Brian J. Ford believes something is fundamentally wrong with this picture.
Well, every time you see these images, they're always the same. You have these huge dinosaurs crunching across the arid desert. They're holding these huge tails. The tail of a dinosaur could weigh 10, 20 tons, which they're holding erect as they're looking around for prey in this sort of sunny landscape. It makes no sense.
The problem, Professor Ford says, is that these larger dinosaurs are simply too big. Too big to support their own weight. Too big to consume enough food to maintain their vast bulk. Too big to be able to move around with anything like the agility other aspects of their physiology imply. Unless, that is, all that bulk is somehow supported.
Just imagine that the landscape was flooded with water. Now it suddenly makes sense. His huge tail is buoyant, it's floating in the water. It doesn't cause any energy drain. If he waves it, then it's going to help him swim. It becomes a swimming aid. And suddenly he's in an environment which is sympathetic to him. That arid mud wasn't arid at all. That mud was at the bottom of a shallow lake. The water took their weight, not their limbs.
Brian Ford is, he freely admits, not a paleontologist. He's a cell biologist, but with a polymath's delight for overturning apple carts. So what do the experts have to say? I've brought his paper, which is published in the latest edition of Laboratory News, to the Natural History Museum. Where else to find out?
This actually harks back to a lot of the views that people held about dinosaurs earlier in the 20th century and some extent even the 19th century.
Dr. Paul Barrett is one of the world's leading experts on non-avian dinosaurs.
So in a number of respects, this is, if you like, a recapitulation of exactly those same kind of arguments that our colleagues were having almost 100 years ago.
Nothing, it seems, is ever truly original in science. And sadly, that's about as far as Dr. Barrett's willing to go in endorsing Brian Ford's new aquatic dinosaur theory. Extraordinary claims, as the saying goes, require extraordinary evidence, and the Natural History Museum is not about to flood its dinosaur display anytime soon.
Things have moved on quite a lot, and there's been a huge body of work, in particular since about the 1960s, when people started getting interested in dinosaurs in a big way again, that show really quite conclusively that most of these animals are actually perfectly well engineered for a life on dry land.
So the idea that because they are so large, so heavy, they must have had some assistance supporting them, you're not buying it?
I don't think we'll be rewriting any of the textbooks just yet.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to be enough to persuade Professor Brian Ford. As another famous scientific dissenter, Galileo was reported to have muttered under his breath when forced to deny that the Earth revolved around the Sun, "Eppur si muove," and yet it moved.